Flesh and Blood is a game that's been on the rise in the last couple of years. A lot of new players want to play the game, but they are having one issue, and it is they are being priced out of the game by cards like Fiend Spring Tunic and Command and Conquer. In order to tackle this issue, LSS has been releasing some Armory decks in the past year, but how effective are they as gateways for new players? So let's find out. Today I'm going to arm myself with one Armory deck, in this case being one of my personal favorite heroes, Ira, and a budget of 10 euros each week. But how are we using this budget, you may ask? So let's establish some rules. Rule number 1. We're going to use this budget to pay for any events we play, meaning Armories, ProQuest, Road to Nationals, etc. Rule number 2. With this budget we are going to pay for new cards each week. Rule number 3. We may increase this budget by selling any prizes we get. For example, if we pull a cool card but we can't use it, we can sell it and increase our budget. This is how we can increase our budget beyond the 10 euros. Rule number 4. We can save some money to buy more expensive cards the week after. With all of that out of the way, let's check our new deck. So now we're going to be opening our Ara deck and looking through the cards. So something that's been criticized in the past is the amount of space these decks actually take. So this is the deck. It's rather small, and this is the package. It's fairly large. If we compare it to the Blitz decks from the past, they have been fairly smaller. Just get open this. So we have our hero, Ira, in Rainbow Foil. There's larger text box as the one we got in the past. Got our equipments. This is a good an upgrade from the past, being you actually have Arcane Barrier in this deck. Like past Armory decks had been struggling with Arcane Barrier since this is actually the first deck with Arcane Barrier, and actually nice sweep of equipments. So items to weapon. So the first of our new cards are Enact Vengeance. It's basically a CNC replacement, like budget CNC. Then second new card is Seek Vengeance, just a new nice combo card. Flying Kick. Bittering Thorns is rather important. This was in the past an expensive card, but it's fairly nice to see it again reprinted. It's been about 10 euros in the past. Then we have just Soulbit Track and Torrent of Tempo, some Go Again. Scar for his card, just more Go Again. This is a bit of a weird reprint, but it's give and take. Just more Go Again block 3s. Snatch, just to get just to have an arsenal and be able to set up. And Flick Flags and Sing Belows for our D-Reacts, so we can play a fairly mid-rangey playstyle. It's Triple Razor Reflex. This is probably one of the first cards I'm going to be cutting, since Triple Razor Reflex it's not really needed that much, especially since it's only a 2-block. So now for the yellow ones, we have only the Willow Mist Blossom. This is a card I haven't been a huge fan of it in the past, since it's not that hard to block out, but maybe if we get some Ancestral Empowerment to the deck, it can become stickier to hit. Then for the blue ones, we got the new card, Vengeance No Rest. This is also like a bit of a weird card. I think if it hits, and it's basically just a red vanilla card. So now we have a Seek Vengeance in blue, a Flying Kick in blue, Bittering Thorns in blue, Soulbit Strike in blue, Torrent of Tempo in blue. So basically a lot of the cards we already had in red. And this is another of the new cards, Legacy of Ikaku. This is like an Ancestral Empowerment with extra steps, but it's blue, so we don't complain, and a singular E-Pot. Now we have this QR code with our actually pretty nice full art Ira. Yeah, it would be honestly a shame. It is a shame that this QR code doesn't takes you to a page where you can learn the game, since there are no instructions in the deck. But this only takes you to the Armory, to the IRA page on FaB, so it's a bit of a shame. So let's get our deck sleeved and ready for the Armory. So in case anyone new is actually watching this, this deck revolves around the Iris weapon, Edge of Autumn. This is a one cost attack for with Go Again, and it's meant to combo with all of our pieces. So this with Enact Vengeance is at CNC. These with Sick Vengeance is just Go Again. This with Vengeance Never Rest is there's some extra damage if you manage to hit. And this with the Legend of Ikaku, it's like an Ancestral Empowerment. But importantly, this also works on weapons. So you need to be really careful playing with this deck, especially when you flick your weapon with the arm piece. You can immediately lose the game if your opponent has like multiple D-reacts. So you need to be able to read the situation and to avoid losing on the spot. So now with our deck fully sleeved, let's go to the Armory. So today I find myself at Fontainebleau in Berlin. With over 600 square meters and large variety of card games and tabletops, Fontainebleau Berlin is the largest LGS in Berlin-Brandenburg. So after winning the die roll and giving our deck a quick shuffle, we jump into the first game on the Armory. We're playing against a new player playing Jarl. So our decks are basically fairly balanced since he has some upgrades but not a lot of expensive things. So I let him go first since I wanted to have some tempo in the game, and I didn't thought he would be able to punish me that hard, but he started with the aura, putting a -1 counter on my headpiece. So I start the back foot in that sense, but that was all his turn. He didn't have some extra fruits or something like that. So after drawing up, I had quad red hands, so I wasn't able to do that much. I just swing my Edge of Autumn into an Enact Vengeance for 7, threatening his arsenal, but he was able to block it properly since he had the block card from Jarl, so he just blocks 7 after a while of thinking. But it seems I wasn't the only one with quad red hand. Apparently he also had a quad red hand, so he just pitched into his lobs and passed the turn. I have immediately full tempo again, and I drew a really nice hand with Soul Bit Strike, Razor Reflex, and Snatch, so I could have the guarantee go again even if he blocks out the Soul Bit Strike. So he blocked out my turn. After that, I have a back-to-back full tempo turn. He started blocking with a lot of his armor, which was a bit interesting, and he kept 3 cards in hand. After that, he immediately plays a Mangled with 2 floatings. I thought that was going to be the pummel, so I just tried to block 6, and my hand was too many blue cards. Anyway, so he pummels me. I lose my headpiece. In hindsight, I should have probably just blocked the headpiece to keep 1 life more, but that's maybe just a small misplay that happens. I discard this Epot, and I think at Arsenal Glittering Thorns. After that he comes just a red disable, which is an easy 6 block, leaking 3 damage, and my crackback is an Edge of Autumn with a Vengeance card. He blocks with a Sink Below. I tried to be a little bit greedy and I activate my arms just to get an extra damage, re-equipping the Edge of Autumn and passing my turn, since I had a lot of red cards. His turn is just playing a Crumbled Eternity, putting a -1 counter on our arms and giving us a Frostbite. But so we have full tempo now, and we use it to start with Edge of Autumn into Whirling Mist Blossom, but he blocks out, so no extra draw for us. Then the Bitter turns from Arsenal, and then we're able to finish with 1 for 5. so pushing a nice kind of amount of damage in this turn. So he wants to do a crackback after my turn, so start with Scar for Scar, go again with a clean block with Sink Below. Then he wants to play Channel Lake Frigid into an Autumn's Touch, but he noticed he has no ice card, so I just let him take the card back. Next is just another boring Ira turn, starting with Edge of Autumn into Torrent of Tempo for 6. He wants to block the full 6, but I luckily have the new card from the deck that gives +1, and basically it's combo draw with Edge of Autumn, draw 1 card. I found no follow up, so I just passed my turn. In his turn, he just plays the Channel Lake from last turn that he couldn't play and passes, so I have full tempo again. We both forget about the Frostbite, so I was able to do this turn because we both forgot the Frostbite. So I start with Edge of Autumn into a Vengeance, cracking my chest in order to gain 1 resource, and end with a Flying Kick since I had a lot of red cards in hand. Since he blocked out, I had back-to-back full tempo. He just lets the channel die, and I crack back with Edge of Autumn into Whirling Mist Blossom. I had the +1, but he blocked the D-React, so I wasn't able to do it, and I just finished with a Soulbit Strike. After that, he just cracks back with an Oakanold, double fusing, putting 2 cards back in my deck, so I just swing with my sword and pass the turn. He has a Spinal Crush turn, which I just block with a Flick Flack, and I come back with Edge of Autumn into Bittering Thorns, drawing an extra card, and then throwing 2 damage. So currently I have a really nice life lead, and he throws an Earthworm, but I denied embodiment, and I just swing back with my sword into Scar for Scar. And he plays a Channel Lake. This time we don't forget about the Frostbite. So now with the Channel Lake I've been a bit hindered, but that's no issue since I have such a large last lead. After that he gets with the Mangle Dominate from the gloves, but this time I don't misplay and I just block with my gloves since they're going to die anyway. So the Channel Lake dies, I start with a Snatch, Razor Reflexing it just to get draw a card. So I get a Bittering Thorns into a Neck Vengeance to get him at 1, so now he is chipped down from all my attacks, and my sword is lethal each turn. So I just need to keep pushing some damage since he has to give 1 card for my sword, and I can just wait until I draw a Razor Reflex or something else to kill him, which in this case I did kill him with the Razor Reflex. So welcome back to game 2. Now we're playing against Verdance. This is a more complete deck than last deck, so it's going to be a way tougher game than last game. So we start die rolling. I won die roll, so I let my opponent go first in this case, and we shuffle our decks and we get right into the game. So my opponent starts the game and he has the best opening possible. He starts with throwing a Fruits in the Forest into a Burn Bear, so I just have AB1, so we start the game with a loss rather of 7 life. So I try to quickly get it back with the Edge of Autumn into tutoring a Whirling Mist Blossom, but he blocked it out and he had no reaction, so we just end the turn with a Torrent of Tempo. So after that he sends a Plow Under for 2, killing the D-React we Arsenal last turn. So it's some loss of value. I just blocked with Flying Kick that I don't really needed that turn, and I just come back with 1 into 5 into possibly 5 or 4, but he blocks out, so just 4. He just sends a command, being it's an easy block for us, and the crackback is going to be an Edge of Autumn into an Neck Vengeance. He does a little misplay there since he only blocks for 7. So I was able to flick my sword to pushing it to 8, so I just take his Arsenal. His turn just being 1 Arcane into Arsenal gave us a lot of tempo, so we were able to attack with Snatch, giving it go again with the Snapdragons to extend with a Scar for Scar. Sadly, we were 1 life off to having the Scar actually off, so Yeah, that was a bit unfortunate. Now in his turn, he just establishes the first H-pots into a sigil, so now that he's ahead of life, sadly we have no Scar, but we have a Snatch together with a Razor Reflex in order to draw a card. But I think we have only full only red cards in hand, so that's a bit unfortunate. An Edge of Autumn swing for 2 that gets blocked into another Snatch that gets also blocked, but that's really important because we took the first block from the chest without losing a lot of value. The first felling of the game hits the board, just block 6 into establishing an arsenal and waiting for him to give us a bit of tempo back. So he just pings us for 1 arcane damage and establishes another H-pot, so that gave us actually all the tempo we wanted back. We swing first with a sword into a Whirling Mist Blossom. He has the block, so we buff it for +1, and on hit draw 3 cards. He has the mental block, but luckily we have our Rescue Reflex, so we just draw 3 cards out of this. It's a bit disappointing, we had a lot of red, so we pitch another Rescue Reflex in order to come with give and take, and just finishing with a 4 attack, and he blocks a lot and establishes the Ring of Roses into passing back to us. So once again, we start the turn swinging our sword into Vengeance, into an Enact Vengeance, threatening his arsenal. He isn't able to fully block since we can always flick it and just gain 1 extra free damage from it. We get the arsenal and was the Arcane CNC. After he just swings fruits into healing 2, into establishing a Pommel Amulet, basically the third H-pot. Some fine guys from our sides playing Sword into Bittering Thoughts into Scar. Sadly no go again from the Scar since now we're ahead of life. He blocks out and just passes. At this point he's just waiting into draw and combo to kill us. So we're just trying to throw the best. After some turns of just throwing some damage and throwing a bit more damage, he just has more arcane damage. Sadly we had only a B1 and no aces in the stack, so he just heals even more and just waits for the combo. And after a couple of turns, he just pulls the instant, 1 instant, and heals a lot, amps a lot, and all the life lead doesn't matter because he just pushes over 30 damage with only AB1 and a lot of rest in hand. I just eventually die. So buckle up because this is in for a really large game. So now we're playing against a Florian. This is another new player. He doesn't have access to all the cool cards, like multiple fellings. I think he was only playing 1 felling, and as you can see on the board, he is with the Helm of Ligma, so no Purgatory. So we should be rather balanced, but I think eventually his deck should be above better than ours since he has access to a couple of legendary cards and some power cards. So let's get right into the game. So he wins Spiral, so he wanted to go first. He immediately starts with Arcane Seed's life, gaining some rune chance and 1 life. He probably did a small misplay in here. He could have just pitched for rune chant from Grasp, but he just passes. I just start with my Edge of Autumn into a Whirling Mist Blossom into a Flying Kick, just to push some good damage. So for some reason he decided to block with his Grasp, and he also used a couple of reacts, giving me full tempo back. In his turn he just plays a Malefic Incantation and passes. So I proceed to start with my Edge of Autumn into Snatch, giving it go again with the help of Razor Reflex and pushing some damage. So after that turn, I'm not finding anything relevant from my Snatch. He proceeds to decompose for the first time in the game, sending 2 rune chunks along Calaverous Tilling. I had a full red hand, so I couldn't do that much. So I proceed to block 7, sinking, hopefully trying to find a blue card, but I couldn't, so I just found a yellow card. So I just sent an Enact Vengeance for 6. The next couple of turns play pretty similar. He being on the back foot, while he's trying to decompose, and I am just enjoying a lot of tempo. But that comes certainly to an end when he finds a cadaverous tilling, being that his second decompose, together with a bramble spark, sending a lot of damage. So since I had a fairly break hand that moment, I just decided to block it out and try to wait for a moment to come back. But he actually was able to go wide, establishing two Malefic incantations in the next couple of turns. And after that, he just started playing dirges, gaining a lot of tempo, pushing a lot of arcane damage. So I lost a lot of the life lead I had been gaining in the last couple of turns. During the whole chaos, I still managed to get a nice hand consisting of Scar for Scar, Blue Card, and Flying Kick. So I was just able to push 13 damage with my 3 cards. We started having the back and forth, but after some time I just noticed with the both Malefic incantations he's pushing too much arcane damage each turn, so he's doing 4 arcane damage for free each turn while also attacking with a large attack. He also has a bit of bit armor left, and he blocks an attack that I really wanted to hit in order to search for a Will and Miss Blossom and go wide. But with his armor, he managed to do it. After that, just it was a lot of rune chants, losing me even more tempo than before. Then I start noticing the card quality, the difference between all decks. He's having better quality reacts like Sigil and block 4 cards. So then he plays a Plow Under, which just takes my arsenal away. That is also wallet slap, as we would call it, with a way too powerful card for our deck. Then he just deals way more arcane damage that I could handle since I had a fairly brick hand. I tried to pitch a red one, trying to pitch deck since I could block with the same amount as to pitching, since he was coming for 7, and that actually helped a lot in the late game. And then advanced games that he plays the broccoli, I got really scared at that point since I wasn't sure if he had multiple broccolis in his deck. If he does, then that would be just game over for me if he's able to play the second one. So I just hoping I could kill him before that, but a lot of efficient big attacks came together with large arcane damage. So I just started Jet again in the back foot, just blocking him out until I was able to find something. Eventually, I found 2 card 9s with Scar for Scar and Vengeance card. I start flicking with my arms, especially because I knew I was so behind. I needed to be a bit greedy. But if he at any moment has an extra D-react in order to block my re-equip, I would just immediately lose game. After a while, with even more arcane and more decomposes, with a lot of big attacks, uh, and I was being just in the back foot. I was way too much life behind. I'm really close of dying, since I kept drawing a lot of full red hands when he had his large arcane spikes. So for a moment, I was pretty sure I was in a lost situation, and it got even worse at some point. That being, of course, when his only felling of the crown hit the table. But at that moment, I saw my hand. I saw the razor reflex. So I thought to myself, what if I just send the razor reflex to the bottom, try to deal a bit of damage to him, and then try the sneaky kill with the razor reflex. But there was one small issue with my plan, and that is I saw him pitching a Jello Direct, so I need to work through blocks, meaning some life, and the Jello Direct. So it it was a it was pretty hard to get there. After things started looking dicey, yet for a fourth time in this game, I finally got a shimmer of hope
after I got a little bit of tempo, and I was able to play the one of the new vengeance cards that banishes itself and hit, and that allows me to play it again. After he blocks with an awkward 3 block on my sword, I just swing my vengeance card, and he also blocks only 3. So I thought to myself, wow, okay, so this is really the comeback, and after his misplay. So I played it again, pushing extra 3 damage for free, activating my gloves just to push him to 1, and I just needed to play through the react in order to win with my Razor Reflex. So both at 1. I need to block every single rune chant he throws at me, and he needs to block every single attack I throw at him. After a while, I draw my last thing below, and I was absolutely sure the top card from my deck was the Razor Reflex, but sadly it was one card after. So after I synced, wanted to get the Razor Reflex, I just couldn't get it, and I thought to myself, damn, I really punked at this game now, right? Haven't I? But still, even through the misplay, I tried to push in damage, but since he had Seeds of Tomorrow, I just Arsenal my attack and waited for another turn. Especially since I drew the thing below, I was just trying to play it, which I did, and it lined exactly with his defense reaction. So he managed to survive that one attack. Luckily, the Razor Reflex actually managed to give me a lot of tempo, since he had to pitch in order to play his D-React. So, yeah, so I got lucky in that regard. He just swings his Rippling Blade, and I block his rune chants. And the Rippling Blade was, I think it was my last 3 block. And he starts overblocking my attacks. I think he was thinking I had another Razor Reflex, but I hadn't. I had in my arsenal, I had one of the new cards from Ira, the one that gives +1. So I managed to clutch out the game with my last cards in deck with that card. That +1 coming in huge.
So this is Matti, this is Leonel. Both went 1-2 in the Armory today. And here the main guy, the main character, Jose.
So one
Mr. Müller.
jump pack for the first. And we have a Fiddler's Grin.
Oh, that's €10 if you give it to PJ.
Hey!
So now we're back home. When the event went decently overall, 2-1. We lost against Burdens. Pretty fine-tuned deck. 2-1 is not too shabby, but we didn't have a lot of high power opponents. But let's see how far we can take our deck next week with our budget. So please be sure to tune in and subscribe.